So, like, say you have, I don't know if you did OKRs at Booking.com or at the Flight Travel Center, or Flight Center Travel rather. But your team is told we need to increase bookings by X amount. What does that ideation look like for your team? Like, are you sitting in a room thinking, okay, what are the ways that can improve the existing booking experience versus adding things that increase the urgency?
So I think it depends on what you're working on, because there's a lot of different pieces that come together to form like a website like Booking.com. And I can't speak so much for other online travel agents, but I'd say it's probably similar with Airbnb. Is depends how the business is split up. So there might be teams that might need to optimize like a booking funnel, and that's more on where the guest is looking to book. But then there's also teams that will be looking on the sourcing side of things. So can they get better prices from the properties, or also can they sort of reduce some of the operational load that the properties have as well? So it's quite granular. So I think every team will have an objective that will be based on like how does their piece sort of fit in with this overall thing of generating bookings. So it's usually I wouldn't say it's like every team is like, yeah, we need to increase bookings. They might be focused on a particular metric.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the actual user journey and flow, are you mapping out from start to finish, or can other folks from other orgs say, well, actually, in these bookings, we need to include these checkboxes or these radio buttons that upsell stuff? Because I think one of the other considered dark patterns, so I think this is for all forms, marketing forms as well, like that checkboxes are automatically selected. Like in travel, it's like insurance is already selected. I mean, do you have much, as a designer, do you have much control in that space?
I think it depends on the topic and what it is you're working on. So I'd say, I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it from Booking, but I'd say because everything is vetted through A/B tests, it can be challenging there to change things if that's the primary sort of thing that gatekeeps decisions.
Yeah.
I would say that designers do have capacity to change things, but they also need to prove that it's better.
Yeah,
and that's from an experience point of view, but also from a business point of view. Is it gonna lose a lot of money for the business too, and will that affect how competitive it is with other online travel agents?
So it's hard to make the ethical argument if the existing A/B test result shows that by doing this, you've increased revenue by X amount, basically.
Well, the test could have also been run many years ago. It's hard to sort of, if you're trying to change it, then you're almost like, if you're introducing bad news, that's a classic problem with a lot of A/B tests, is if something introduces something to someone who's booking who's not aware of that, then most of the time that will mean that people will book less. So you really have to prove that it's better.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Design Huddle. The opinions expressed are solely our own and do not express the views or opinions of our employer.